All right. So this week we are talking about the excretory or the urinary system. And as always, we still want to focus on whole body and bringing the body into balance. And we've talked about the 4-month program and the Bella program and bringing that body back into balance. And then there might be some things that still hang on. And that's when we can start to address those. So the key functions of the urinary system is controls water balance in the body. It removes waste from the blood and excretes it. It monitors and regulates blood pH balance. It monitors the body's blood pressure, and it interacts with hormones outside of the urinary system. The parts include the kidneys, the bladder, the ureters, the urethra, and your skin. So the kidneys and the bladder perform a vital role of filtering and removing waste from the urine from the body. In the process of maintaining a healthy balance, the fluids and electrolytes, which are critical to many bodily functions. Today, we're going to discover how hydration, nutritious, cleansing nutrients, herbs, and essential oils can support the urinary function, ensuring the smooth removal of waste, and how natural therapies and a tailored diet can help to resolve blockages and infections when they occur. Okay, so being adequately hydrated and including key foods in your diet while avoiding dietary irritants can make a significant contribution to urinary health. Eating a diet that includes key micronutrients both support and help to optimize the health of your bladder, urethra, and kidneys. So I still in Corinne, so I had to go in a week ago and have my blood work done for my kidney stuff since I have autoimmune related to my kidneys. I'm like, kind of interesting that this is what I'm working on this week because my numbers weren't looking so great. So I've really kind of been focusing this week on looking, because I'm obviously doing the herbs and I do the oils. I got to maybe start focusing on foods. So water is super, super important, right? We know that it's important to our overall health, but it's especially important for the health of your urinary tract system. So water really is the best option to stay hydrated. Herbal teas are also good, and they provide benefits, especially our stuff, right? But it's really kind of one of the simplest, most important measures to keep the urinary system working efficiently and to prevent infections. So not only does hydration support your kidney functions to help flush out toxins from the body, but it also helps boost your immunity. So when your body is hydrated, it transports oxygen efficiently to ensure that cells, tissues, and organs perform optimally. Along with drinking healthy fluids, when we eat foods high in water content like watermelon, lettuce, celery, and cucumber, that also helps with our hydration. So one thing that's kind of weird about like my stuff, so I'm drinking our drinks all day long. I fill this bad boy up at least 3 times a day, sometimes 4. And frequently they tell me I look like I'm dehydrated. I'm like, how am I dehydrated? Like I drink all the time. And so when you already have issues with your kidneys, you need to be drinking more water than you think because you just because all of that water is going towards that. So water is super, super important. So no joke when they say half of your body weight in ounces of water a day, and more if you're exercising, more if you're drinking a lot of caffeine. So it usually takes 16 ounces of water to flush out 8 ounces of coffee, just so you know, or any other kind of caffeine. So whether that's coming from soda or a black tea, to kind of balance that out and keep you hydrated. Okay, so the other things we want to look at is we want to look at antibacterial foods. So those are things like yogurt. A lot of people don't realize that Greek yogurt doesn't actually have the bacteria in it like regular yogurt. So I know somebody told me the other day, they're like, but I eat Greek yogurt. Isn't that a good probiotic? I'm like, no, it doesn't have the cultures. It is good, but it doesn't have the cultures in it like regular yogurt does. Other things like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, we know that, those probiotic foods repopulate the digestive tract, that good bacteria. And that's especially important after an infection because it's going to help strengthen that urinary tract infection. So if you've ever had like a UTI, most of the time they're going to put you on an antibiotic. But even if you treat it without an antibiotic, there's a lot of bad bacteria in there and you want to boost it back up with that good bacteria. So that's one way to do that. Fiber is also a key nutrient to support your urinary tract and your excretory system, your urinary system. So many aspects of the modern diet can contribute to kidney and bladder problems. A diet high in fat and sugars and low in fiber raises the risk of kidney and bladder stones. High fiber whole grains such as wheat, corn, rice, millet, and barley help to remove stone-forming substances such as uric acid. Sorry, fiber-rich foods also prevent the uncomfortable blockages in the intestines that can be pressed on the bladder. So if you're constipated and you have those blockages in there, that's also putting pressure on your bladder. So that constipation isn't just affecting your gut, it's also affecting your bladder, which is not good either, right? So that's why we want that fiber to be moving things along like we're supposed to. So along with whole grains, aim for large variety of plant-based diet with limited meat to help lower levels of uric acid in your excretory system. So replacing that meat-based protein with things like beans, dried peas, lentils, as well as nuts, are healthy protein alternatives to meat. And they also are low in substances called oxalates, which lead to the formation of kidney and bladder stones in some people. Okay, you also want to focus on alkaline foods. So if you're prone to urinary tract infections, eating more alkaline-based foods can help reduce the recurrent infections and also make urination more comfortable when an infection does occur. Those are things like carrots, celery, black radish, barley grass, and cucumber, as well as watermelon and bananas are simple alkaline foods that can promote health throughout the body. So whenever possible, try to buy organic produce to reduce your exposure to pesticides and that residue, which can also affect immunity over a long term. So see, there are lots of benefits to fruits and vegetables. What I was reading this week, kind of looking at what was recommended by Johns Hopkins University for people with the IgA nephropathy like I have, is something called the DASH diet, and it's literally 4 to 5 servings of fruits a day and 4 to 5 servings of vegetable a day, and you literally only get 1 serving of a meat protein from an animal source. And I was like, I'm not eating anywhere near that amount of fruits and vegetables, right? So something to start looking into. And I know that that's important, but I just know that I'm not eating 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. Calcium is also a really important food that helps to bind those oxalates. So substances that can lead to kidney stones are called oxalates. And what the calcium helps stop these from binding and absorbing into the blood. So if you have a tendency to get kidney stones or bladder stones, eating enough calcium can be really helpful to prevent this measure. Okay, so calcium is more than just for your bones. So dairy products, yogurt. Okay, now this was kind of gross. I would never eat this, but I don't know, maybe people like this. Soft fish bones, ground down in canned salmon. I don't really eat canned fish, but I had no idea that that was in there. Kind of grosses me out. And greens such as kale, broccoli provide calcium. So I will skip the ground bones and do some other stuff instead. Okay, so then we can also come in and we can support the excretory system with herbs. So herbs contain several properties to support a healthy urinary system. Toning and calming herbs can help prevent inflammation, nerve sensitivity, and infection. A healthy diet should provide vital nutrients, but if levels of key nutrients are low, this can have an impact on urinary health, so a supplement may be helpful. I mean, herbs are food, right? Like people use this stuff in their food all the time, so it's not really separate. I always kind of think supplementation in general. Supplements, usually the first thing that comes to mind is made in the lab, synthetic, herbs, natural, right? So there are herbs with diuretic action, which are useful at the first sign of a urinary tract infection to reduce the symptoms and flush out the bacteria. So those include some herbs called stone root and corn silk, also buku, which is interesting. And what they do is they help remove the waste and excess water from the system. Buku has similar diuretic action in addition to it also helps flush. It has antibacterial oils inside of it that can both prevent and fight urinary tract infections. We have soothing herbs. Okay, so like marshmallow, which is I'm not even gonna be able to say it, mucilaginous. Basically, that means that it prevents a mucus, right? And we've talked about mucus before and phlegm and how you need a healthy level, but not too much. So that marshmallow root that we have in some of our products, Renew, for sure, other ones, it'll say down below because I wrote them down. But they kind of help calm the irritation in the urinary tract and can prevent problems with urination. So if there's inflammation with your mucous membranes of the urinary tract, the tissues become more vulnerable to infection. So these herbs can reduce the likelihood of an infection and are really beneficial if you feel the initial symptoms of a urinary tract infection coming on. Marshmallow root is also a diuretic, so it helps encourage urine flow. It is also antioxidant, protecting your cells in the urinary tract from free radical damage. So there are toning herbs such as horsetail. That is in one of our things. I don't usually come back through here and I put which of our products are on this list, and I forgot, but they're down below when we talk about each of the conditions, but that's in one of our things too. I want to say it's in Omitox. I could be wrong. So these toning herbs help strengthen and calm the effect on the lining of the bladder. So it can help reduce urgency and frequency of urination. Also, we're going to talk a lot about probiotics and how important those are today. Magnesium is also huge to help with bladder control. Magnesium is in so many of our products that you'll see when I talk about it later that I listed a few, but not all of them because it's a lot of stuff. And cranberries. Cranberries are big, and yes, it's a food, but there's also cranberry supplements that people take because it has a substance called proanthocyanidin, which also is known as PAC-A, which is a naturally occurring antioxidant. And what this PAC-A does is it makes it harder for bacteria to adhere to the bladder. So if you're having like urinary tract infections, that sort of thing, drinking cranberry juice, but it's got to be the real deal. It can't be ocean spray that's like 50% water, right? Like, and it's pretty darn tart, right? So you're either making it yourself or to get that in. And that's why they have some supplements that are in some capsules that aren't so like sour. And I don't know, some people really like that, but I'm like, I don't really like sour things. I remember trying to choke that down one time. I was like, it's so sour. Couldn't do it. But cranberry is great for the urinary system.
Tiffany, that name is proanthocyanidins.
Proanthocyanidins?
Yeah, proanthocyanidins.
When you say it like that, that doesn't seem so difficult to pronounce.
I know. And the other word is mucilaginous. So it just, you hear Dr. Allison say that, and I'm like, that's another word I had to practice because she uses all these words, and I'm like, who is going to say that word? But
Wow.
proanthocyanidins is how you say that one.
Awesome. Okay. Essential oils, especially using them as a massage over the kidneys or over your abdomen, is a really good way to cleanse and boost the health of your urinary system, especially oils that are antimicrobials and cleaning, like cleansing oils. So antimicrobials and astringent essential oils help support urinary health. Uplifting cedar wood is antiseptic and an astringent, so it helps keep infections at bay. Lavender, as well as being deeply calming, is also an antiseptic. And thyme has strong antiseptic properties to help manage urinary infections. Also, citrus oils like lemon and bergamot are cleansing and refreshing and also have antiseptic properties to help maintain urinary tract health. A pre-diluted citrus oil or any of the above oils will help. You can actually put them in a shallow bath to help prevent infections taking hold. And I'm going to talk about that as we get down exactly how to do that. Then we have the cleansing oils that really help the body detoxify and cleanse and promote healthy bladder function and support the kidneys in expelling waste from the body to avoid an accumulation of toxins. Pungent juniper berry and sweet and spicy fennel are effective detoxifying oils, creating a detoxifying, stimulating massage. You can blend the two together and use these as a massage gently over the kidney area. Here I am doing that, like you can see me doing that. I've actually been doing that this week because I was telling Corinne the other day, I think I was telling you, I said, I think half the time when I'm having lower back pain, that's not fibro, that's my kidneys. Now that I'm realizing where my kidneys are, I'm like, that's not fibro. I think that's kidneys because I'm definitely flared up right now. So I've been doing that oils over my kidneys. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about some of the conditions that are directly associated with the excretory system. So as usual, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't treat, diagnose, or prescribe. So I'm just going to be sharing educational information to kind of help you make an educated decision on how to do these holistically. So first one, my favorite, body odor. And as soon as I heard Chris say one time that sweat is pee, now I'm totally grossed out, but comes from the same, comes from the same system. So we often associate body oil with sweat, but sweat is in fact almost odorless. However, acids and sweat are broken down by naturally occurring bacteria on the skin, causing unpleasant body odor. So how strong body odor can vary from person to person and from day to day is really dependent on several factors. So rather than masking odor with perfumes, it's better to address the root cause. So there are some herbs and supplements that can help. So there are some herbs that can be used to improve the health and bacteria on the skin, refreshing the skin and reducing body odor. It can improve liver and kidney function. That can also be supportive, promoting the effective cleansing toxins from the body. I don't know about you, not so bad this month, but in that month 2 of the 4-month program, I felt like I was really stinky every day. Like I was sweating a lot more and really stinky. So I was really flushing stuff out. Not so bad this month, but last month, pretty bad. So some things that can help is a green superfood powder, also known as Avent Greens, but also some of the stuff in Vital helps with this. So just it says 1 scoop of organic greens formula that has sea vegetables, grass juices, vegetables, and herbs can help alkalize the body. Soil-based probiotics, they provide that good bacteria that may clear the digestive tract of odor-causing yeast or candida and pathogenic bacteria from the body. And dandelion root, which is in our vital, is great for as a strengthening tonic for the liver and the kidneys, which improves your digestive and excretory function. So when those things are healthy, you're going to have less body odor. So there are some therapeutic essential oils that can be used to prevent the bacteria that cause body odor from multiplying, leaving your skin feeling fresh and odor-free. I started using natural deodorants several years ago. There's a little bit in here that, that talks about how actually some of these, a lot of these deodorants that you just kind of get at the grocery store, there's so much crap in them that it actually leads to this problem. Like it actually causes body odor problems. It doesn't really, it kind of covers it up. But that's why a lot of people, when they switch from a traditional deodorant to a natural deodorant, have a really hard time and like need to like detox their pits and all that kind of stuff, is because really all it did was mask the problem. It didn't actually fix the problem. So tea tree is an antimicrobial, has antimicrobial properties that destroy odor causing bacteria on the skin. Lemongrass acts as a safe natural deodorizer. It battles germs and has healthy skin properties, and it works really efficiently as a deodorant. Patchouli, and I always have to laugh at this because like patchouli, that's like what they use like in the 60s and 70s for everything, and I think it smells so bad, but it can be used to naturally mask body odor. And I was like, what's worse, body odor or patchouli? And maybe it's just because I personally think it stinks. So I think that's funny. But bergamot, which I love, you guys. Bergamot, if you've never smelled but just straight bergamot, it's a citrus fruit. It's green. It's in the same family as a lime and a lemon. It smells amazing, and I actually think it makes a great perfume. But it also impedes the growth of germs and cause body odor. It's cooling and deodorizing. One of my favorite natural deodorants, of course, is a bergamot. I haven't seen it for a while. It's kind of one of those ones that comes and goes, and so I have to look for it. But it's one of my favorites. And lavender works on bacteria causing body odor. So what you can do to make your own, you can add 5 drops of any of the above oils to 1 teaspoon of a base lotion, which I highly recommend this. It's called Solflex AC Cream. Add your favorite essential oil to it. I would probably not do the Compass blends. I would probably do the straight up real deal because these are already diluted with oils. So I would probably do one of these bad boys. So 5 drops, 1 teaspoon of this oil, and apply to any affected area. Now, I have not tried this as deodorant because I have my other natural deodorant, but you can use it anywhere else. So, okay, so when you have like really big breasts like I have, I sometimes get sweat. So I've been doing that with some essential oils. Kind of helps with anything under there or anywhere else where you might get a little stinky. Maybe TMI if Eric's on here, sorry, but not sorry. It just helps, right? Wherever we get, maybe we feel a little stinky. So what's nice about this is it's not oily, it's not greasy, it absorbs into the skin. Whereas like, regular lotion sometimes can be a little oily and greasy. So that's one thing that you can do. And you could even try that as even a natural deodorant if you wanted to. Okay. Edema is a buildup of fluids in body tissue. It has a number of accompanying symptoms, including bloating, muscle aches, and flu-like symptoms, fatigue, anxiety, and depression. Women tend to experience edema more than men, and most often it's during their menstrual cycle or pregnancy. So there are some herbs. Certain herbs can help strengthen the capillaries, and you can use these herbs to support vascular tonic, and with vascular tonic herbs to improve your circulation. And you can use diuretic herbs, which ease the body in eliminating the excess fluid. So we have omega-3s. So the EPA and DHA found in omegas Is really beneficial for fighting inflammation, which may improve edema. Of course, that's in our soul megas. It's actually also in our infatuate, now that I'm thinking about it. Turmeric and black pepper, these spices help to improve blood flow and cool inflammation. Turmeric is inside our Clarify essential oil. Not turmeric, black pepper is inside the Clarify essential oil. And of course, the turmeric is inside our Soulflex PI. Dandelion leaf acts as a diuretic to help expel excess fluids and also contains potassium, which helps to balance mineral levels, and that is inside our Vital. You get all of them? And chamomile contains inflammation cooling properties and acts as a natural disinfectant due to the presence of azulene, and that is inside our Renew. Okay, so I got to tell you a really funny story about essential oils in this. Okay, so when I was pregnant with Cameron, of course, like towards the end of my pregnancy, it's June, it's hot as blazes. I am swollen up really bad. My feet are just huge. Could not wear regular shoes. And so I had gone in for a prenatal massage. I was new to essential oils, never really used them before. And she told me she had given me some essential oils. I don't even remember what it was. It might have even been lemon. And she said, just put like 1 drop on the bottom of your feet. So I got home and I thought, well, 1 drop isn't going to do anything. So I literally took it and just like shook it all over my feet. I used up like half a bottle on both of my feet and just put it all over my feet. And then the next morning I went into the doctor and they start freaking out. So they see the edema, they see my yellow feet. And so they kept taking my blood pressure over and over and over, and then sent me over to the hospital to monitor me. And they were freaking out, thinking maybe I was having preeclampsia. And I wasn't even thinking about the essential oil. So I'm freaking out. My husband's freaking out. Everybody's freaking out. I go over there and one of the nurses is like, have you done anything new? Have you tried anything new? She goes, because usually with preeclampsia, your blood pressure's through the roof. We've done your blood work. That's all normal, but we can't figure out why your feet are yellow. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I put some essential oils on my feet, and I described it to her. And I remember her laughing at me, and she's like, oh yeah. When your massage therapist literally said 1 drop for each foot, that's literally all you needed. My feet turned yellow because of the oils I put all over my feet. So that was my really embarrassing first experience with essential oils, a very costly one as well, since I had to go into the hospital for half a day. But that just goes to show you the power of essential oils. And yes, it can stain your skin. So essential oils, especially detoxifying essential oils, can be used to stimulate lymph drainage and help eliminate toxins. So juniper berry is able to extract fluid from the skin. It can also help regulate hormone levels and fight infection and reduce bloating and swelling. Lavender can lessen swelling in the feet, the ankles, and the legs. It also has a soothing effect, which acts as an inflammation soothing agent. That is in our Balance essential oil and Courage. And you guys, whenever so Balance is in more, I think it's in more than just, so anytime Balance, like our Singer oils are listed, of course, those are in the Tiffany, the blends as well. And so Courage is the one that's also the green in the Balance category, but Balance essential oil is actually used in these other things too. But I just, for simplicity, put those because it's going to have the most of those in those two. If that makes sense. Lemon is a cleansing oil, and it's recommended for detoxifying the body. That's in several of our blends, our comfort blends. And cypress improves circulation in the body. And that's in our blends too. Give me just 1 minute. I got to wake up my kids. So talk amongst yourself for like 2 minutes. I'll be back.
I don't think any of us want to talk because it's being recorded.
All right, I'm back. Sorry. Oh, hold on. I wanted to go back here for a second. So there are actually also some foods that can draw out excess water from the body, from the tissues, which relieve the bloating and can help relieve edema. So being dehydrated is actually a huge contributor to edema. So making sure that you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day. That's why frequently this happens with pregnant women in the summer, right? Because it's hot, they're dehydrated, especially towards the end of pregnancies. Protein deficiency also contributes to edema. And so making sure that you're getting in enough protein, specifically plant-based proteins, help. Also, another major cause of edema is actually either food allergies or intolerances that can lead to retention. So if you're concerned about that, you can get tested. And also gentle exercise such as Pilates, yoga, and swimming can also help reduce edema, especially if you're somebody that like gets this regularly and it's not because you're 9 months pregnant. All right, so next we're going to talk about gallstones and then kidney stones. So if urine stays in the bladder too long and it becomes really concentrated, it creates the urine starts to create crystals, okay, that's made up of oxygen, phosphorus, and uric acid. And they become large over time, creating these stones. So of course, passing them can be painful. And if left untreated, they can cause irritation and infection. So believe it or not, most causes of gallstones actually occur in men over the age of 50 and can be a result of prostate enlargement. And that can obstruct the flow of urine. So it's important to get your prostate checked, or your husband's prostate checked, right? So there are some herbs. Diuretic herbs are beneficial, helping to increase urine flow and dilute and promote the excretion of waste particles such as calcium. Anti-inflammatory soothing herbs help reduce discomfort, and muscle relaxing herbs can be helpful as well. So we have milk filcer, which is inside our Omnitox BC. It is a supplement that has been shown to increase the bile flow and aid the liver and gallstone in detoxification. Digestive enzymes are really important because what they do is, that we know, is that they improve the digestion of fat and break that down. And that not being able to break down that fat and break that down can actually lead to gallstones. Plant-based protein is preferable to animal protein, especially if you're prone to gallstones, because meat-based protein can raise uric acid, which causes the stones. So switching over to plant-based protein, which of course we have. Magnesium, what it does is it helps inhibit crystal formation. So taking a supplement or making sure that you're getting significant magnesium can really help you break down those crystals and prevent those crystals from happening. So this is just the one where I just named a few of them because magnesium is in a lot of our products, like a lot of them. So in general, I think we're all taking Vital every day, most of us in Mate every day, but it is in a ton of our stuff. So people will ask me all the time, especially because when they have fibro autoimmune, they'll have people say, but I was told to take magnesium. Well, most of the time when you're buying a magnesium supplement, it's synthetic and it's hard for your body to break that down. So when I tell them, I'm like, you don't need that. You're going to be getting all this magnesium and pretty much everything you're taking is great, right? But also getting magnesium in the form of a bath can actually be really helpful as well, because our skin is our biggest organ. You're going to absorb it in that way as well. So we're going to talk about that in a minute when we get to like some essential oils here in a minute. And the turmeric, of course, can help reduce the swelling in the gallstones, can also help reduce the pain and the inflammation there in the form of our Sulflex PI and improve the bile flow. So I don't know if I had a kidney stone or a bladder stone. That was like a couple years ago when I started having blood in my urine. And they said it was pretty small, that they were kind of surprised it even came up on the scan, but they scanned again in 6 months and it wasn't there. And I'm pretty sure it's because of all of the Sol I took, because Mike was like, how could you have passed those without feeling them? Because he's had them before. And he's like, they're super painful. There's no way you pass those without feeling them. And I think probably because they're broken down and flushed out of my body. That's my opinion because of Sol. That's what I say. So essential oils can also help, things like rosemary, peppermint, and lemon. Rosemary with cleansing and soothing inflammation. Peppermint aids in digestion. So even though that's not in our essential oils, that is in Vertizymes. Lemon assists in the breaking up of gallstones and cleansing the gallbladder and liver. So you can literally take those oils and put them over your abdomen. We're going to talk about kidney stones in a minute, but directly over the kidneys. I'm like doing this as if you can see me like applying oils. So some of the same things for gallstones are also going to apply to kidney stones, but they are kidney stones formed in the kidney opposed to the bladder. However, if you're going to pass them, they got to go through the bladder for you to pass them. But it's still these crystallization of the urine that grow into larger masses. So one is just formed in the kidneys, the other isn't formed until the bladder. And the bladder stones are more because we're not going to the bathroom as often as we should, for lots of other reasons. So most of these stones are formed from oxalate or phosphorus through some, and because of the buildup of uric acid produced in the body. Which can metabolize protein. So determining what kind of stone that you have, whether it's kidney or gallstone, can help guide your choices and remedies. But as far as herbs go, diuretic herbs help to boost urine flow to avoid the buildup of waste products such as calcium, while soothing anti-inflammatory herbs and mussels relax the herbs and ease the pain and discomfort. So vitamin B6, this is another one that is in so many of our products that I only listed a few, okay? B6 is in almost everything. It's in our probiotic, it's in our cinnamate, it's in almond greens, it's in the soul megas, but it can help decrease the production of oxalates and help break those stones down or prevent them from forming. Magnesium, again, is on here because it prevents that crystallization from forming. And omega-3s can help prevent the formation of kidney stones. And as far as oils go for this, juniper berry, fennel, and lemon, that juniper berry helps clear the toxins. Fennel is in our Clarify essential oil, but it is also in Soul Clear SI and Excel, and it can help eliminate the toxins efficiently. So one of the things that you can do is you can add 5 drops of the oil. So you can put the Clarify essential oil in your hand with 2 teaspoons of a carrier oil. This said almond oil, but it could be any carrier oil. And you do a massage over the kidneys. And that can really help. Lemon is deep cleansing and detoxifying, and that's in 3 of our blends. So same thing, you could add 5 drops to 2 teaspoons of a carrier oil and apply over the kidney area. So, and if you didn't want to do that, we already have carrier oils. I just picked this one up because it's sitting right here, but you literally can just take that and massage it over your kidney area. If in doubt where they are, just side of your back, all over your lower back, not going to hurt anything. It's going to get there. My favorite, urinary tract infections, also known as UTIs or bladder infections, is an infection involving the kidneys, the ureters, the bladder, or urethra, and is caused by a bacterial overgrowth in the bladder's interior wall. It leads to pain during urination, a frequent need to urinate, and fever. So my poor niece, when she was little, would get all these UTI infections, and she would always say, I have hot pee again, hot pee. So that's what I think every time I see that. I'm like, oh no, not hot pee. It's the worst, burning pee. So the culprit of at least 90% of UTIs is a type of bacteria called Escherichia coli, also known as E. coli. So if you're a woman, your chances of getting an UTI is higher. Some experts rank your lifetime risk of getting one as high as 1 in 2, with many women having repeat infections, sometimes for years on end. UTIs are much more common in adults than in children. About 1 to 2% of children do get them, but in the US, UTIs account for more than 7 million visits to medical offices and hospitals each year, and the most common causes of a UTI include sexual intercourse, overconsumption of sugar, pregnancy, antibiotic use, hormonal imbalances, and injury to the area. So some of the herbs and stuff that help, probiotics, right? We're kind of seeing this theme throughout everything. So probiotics help more than just the gut. They literally help everything, but they increase that good bacteria in the bladder and reduce the growth of that unwanted bacteria that can lead to UTIs. It's kind of interesting because I was only thinking about this the other day. I used to get a ton of UTIs before starting Soul, even though back and forth now I kind of wonder if it was always this kidney issue, which can also lead to UTIs. But I really haven't had one in years. Marshmallow root, which is found in Vertizymes, complete and good fibrations. It has that mucus lining that helps calm the urinary tract infections and helps promote healing. Clove and myrrh both help fight UTIs and can fight parasites that live in the intestines. So I put this here because it was listed under essential oils. However, clove is in our Omnitox BC. It's DC, not BC. And myrrh is in our Solflex PI. So I could have put it, oh no, I did put it here. I did move it, but initially it was like listed under essential oils. And I'm like, it's not in our essential oils, it's actually in our herbs. Essential oils, like oregano, contains antibacterial properties. It prevents bacterial overgrowth in the bladder interior walls and helps soothe inflammation and pain associated with a UTI. Cilantro contains antibacterial compounds that can help to keep the urinary tract healthful. So I've never seen a cilantro essential oil. Apparently it exists, but also eating cilantro can help, and oregano. Juniper berry, again, this seems to come up like for every single one. It helps fight bacteria that causes UTIs. Cedarwood is a gentle diuretic and it's recommended for treating cysts. Sandalwood is also another traditional UTI remedy. So with the cedarwood, that is in three of our blends, but you can do this with these blends. You can even do that with the Calm essential oil, which is great as well. But you can take a bath. So you add 5 drops of that oil to a hip height bath. Now here's the thing, oil and water doesn't mix. So if you're just putting the oil directly in the water, you're not going to get a lot out of it. So you can add it to like a handful of Epsom salt, which contains the magnesium, and it'll mix in with the magnesium and then it'll mix into the water. You can do that. You can also use baking soda, which is also a cleansing property. About a handful, like a cup of it. And then put your drops in there and then put it in the bath. So hip height so that it's concentrated, but then you can wash that area with that water and sit in there for a while, and it will help relieve the discomfort and also help with the infection. Bergamot and lavender, same thing. You can use that with those as well. And that's in our Balance essential oil and curd. So you can use that Clarify, you can use the Balance to do that as well. Both of those have antiseptic and antimicrobial properties that can help with that. Okay, so then I wanted to talk a little bit about bladder control. I'm just going to be really honest. I've never had this problem up until the last 3 months. It is associated with this IgA nephropathy. It's really annoying. I sneeze, I pee a little, I cough, I pee a little. It's super annoying. So loss of bladder control is caused by mucus or nerves not working well. It is most common in the elderly, the chronically ill, and some autoimmune disorders. Stress incontinence is where a little urine leaks during physical activity. Urge incontinence is the uncontrollable urge to need to pass urine, and nocturia is the need to urinate during the night. I had no idea up until maybe 3 or 4 years ago that even it's really not normal to get up 4 or 5 times in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom if you're not pregnant. But I used to be like, oh yeah, I think it's because I drink so much water. I have to get up like 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night. No, that's called nocturnia, and that's not good, right? So there are some herbs that help with that depending on the cause. Herbal infusions can soothe inflammation and bladder lining that may cause that irritation and calm the nerves. So St. John's wort, which is in our adaptable, and horsetail can help reduce urgency, is in our Soul Complete. And I was talking to Corinne yesterday because I was like, I could have sworn that Renew helps with this. And I meant to cut back in here and add that. But Renew does help with that. I think because of the marshmallow root and the other herbs in there, it can help with that. So I have found that if I literally drink Renew and then go to bed right away, then I'm probably going to have to get up and go to the bathroom. But if I drink it at least an hour before I go to bed warm, then I'm fine, right? I don't have to get up all night long. But it's probably only been since I started doing Soul in the last 3 years that I'm not getting up multiple times a night to go to the restroom. You can also use cypress. So cypress is in our Calm essential oil, and you can rub that directly on to the abdomen to help calm that control. So I learned that yesterday looking this up. So guess what my tummy's getting? All right, so as always, I like to come off mute. If you have any testimonials that's specifically related to anything related to the urinary tract infection that you would like to share, come off and share those. And also next week, we're going to be talking about the digestive system. So we'll be doing that. So hold on, I'm going to stop recording.